at how the poor deal with their money flow, how the middle classes deal with their money flow. And we can see from those two examples that there's a fatal flaw in the way that we think and work with our money. Those two groups are never going to get rich. That's the bottom line. So how do the rich get rich? How do the rich deal with their money? Well, let's have a look at this. First of all, they have their income, money that comes in. The question is, where does that money come from? Does it come from a 9-to-5 job that ultimately is limited in how much it will pay us? Or does it come from somewhere else? Well, it comes from being an investor, having an investment mindset from assets. They use assets to feed their income, and their income feeds their assets. Think about that for a second. Your income, you use that income to invest in assets. Then that asset then feeds our income. It's an eternal loop. It's basically that loop that makes a rich rich. Now, from that income, they first pay their expenses. We've all got expenses. The multimillionaires and the poor, the person on the street, we've all got expenses. Food, tax, running the car, running a house, etc., etc. So that's money that goes out, but that still is fed by the assets and the income and the assets and the income. And then comes the liabilities. So the rich want, say, the nice car, or they want the 6 weeks in Bermuda, or whatever it is. The rich take that not from their savings, not from other liabilities that somehow feed it, but they take it from the income that comes from the assets. So think about this one slide for a second, because this one slide is the one that can make or break you, me, anyone else being rich. If we think about money, if we pay for our liabilities and our expenses out of our monthly income, we can never really get rich, we can never get wealthy, we can never get a total handle upon our finances. If we buy liabilities, if we pay for liabilities out of our savings, then that's not going to happen if we have any savings. But if we pay for our liabilities and our expenses out of the income that we get from our assets, then that is the golden egg from the goose. That's the golden goose. Golden egg, golden goose. Anyway, you understand what I mean. The next thing is to ask ourselves, how do we get those assets? But first, before we get to there, let's look a little bit deeper at this. Imagine you want to buy this great retro bubble car. I think it's a great car. I think it's quite gorgeous in its own little strange way. Okay, here's a test for you. Do you buy that car from your credit card? From your liabilities? Is it yes or no? Of course it's not. Now, if you said yes, you'd buy that car from your liabilities, smack your head now very hard on the table. Actually, don't do that, but you understand my point. Okay, do you buy that car from your savings? No, you don't. Do you buy that car from assets that you've built up? The answer is yes. So the key is, you look at that holiday, that house, that car. What you do is grow your assets to buy that car. So you look at the car, and you look at your assets, and you go, okay, if I buy that car now, excuse me, I'm having to dig into some savings or into a credit card. What can I do? Okay, I can invest some more money that I already get from my assets into something else to grow an asset that will be the car asset, or the holiday asset, or the new house asset, or the private school for my kids asset, whatever it is that will have a name on it that will say new car. And as that asset grows, you can then buy that new car from that, and you haven't had to spend any money from credit cards or from savings, also from your income. That is how the rich afford their toys. That is how the rich stay rich. Over the next few slides, we're going to explore some more about assets and where we can actually get those assets from that will buy us the new car or whatever it is.